Leaders are always taking note of what's going on around them so that way they can grow and help others go further. That's why we're going to be taking note of some leadership lessons from geese. So the word picture that I want to share is alignment, and we're going to look at geese in order to see this. Geese are amazing. They have this instinctive ability to work together to go further faster than they could alone. And this is easier said than done, but it needs to be worked at again and again and again, specifically at the leadership level. If we do not have good alignment in our leadership teams, then we are going to veer off course. We are going to make promises that we can't keep. We're going to discourage and distract the people on our teams, and ultimately we're not going to fulfill the mission. There are so many demands and disappointments that come in the leadership journey. We should not make things harder on the people in those leadership positions, whether they are the point leader or whether they are somewhere else in the organization. Good alignment is essential to helping an organization stay healthy and operate at a high capacity. And so the question is, what does alignment look like? And instead of seeing it as just one straight line, that is always perfectly in place, something that is static, something that is so well defined and rigid that it can never possibly change. Actually, alignment is much more dynamic, it's relational, and there's a lot of communication that's going on throughout it. If you've ever seen geese flying, they are noisy, but they get the job done. I'm so inspired by geese. They have this God-given ability to work together. And the word picture that is so stunning to me is that geese have this willingness to take on the headwinds for a time. And so that's how I want you to see leadership, that it's actually a function that people have to practice for, that they have to be skilled in order to serve the people around them better. Instead of, I'm entitled to this, I deserve this, get out of my way. Being at the point of the V, taking on the wind, going against the elements, it's hard work. I'm not saying that every geese is so altruistic, that they're all full of empathy and compassion for one another, but there is an instinctive lesson that we as leaders can learn, which is having the willingness to rise to that point position as a means of serving. Leadership is for serving, not for being served. And then in addition, there's this healthy, necessary rotation that's going on. And so practically this could just mean that you have different subject experts on your team. And so when your team is thinking about X, then this person rises to that point in the V figuratively, and they become the leader of that conversation. And then maybe there's a season where a younger leader, a future leader, rises to the occasion and they take on the headwinds for a time, so that way other leaders can get rest and recovery. But however it works, the motive of alignment is not my way or the highway, or they're the old guard and we're taking over, or we've been doing this longer and they don't know what they're talking about. All of that creates dissension and distractions. And you know who feels it the most? It's everybody flapping at the end of the V. And so we got to knock all that out. And we have to be willing to see leadership as a function of serving others well. Leadership is demanding. It comes with disappointments, as I've said, but leaders are willing to go through that if others can benefit, if others will be helped, if others will have value, if others will go further. That's the real motive of taking a point position, putting your neck out there and making a call once or twice. Having that motivation, the willingness to take on the headwinds, so that way others are strengthened, so that way others stay in alignment. The other thing is that the geese are very loud. They're honking and talking back and forth all the time. Alignment requires good communication. And it's funny because the word picture I get, at least, is that these geese are urging each other on to good works, right? They are constantly urging and encouraging and challenging each other to keep going, to not stop. Because if they stop, they're literally falling flat, in the air. And so how are you fostering that kind of robust communication that's keeping the team in alignment, that they're swerving and they're veering and they're moving back and forth through the winds, but somehow they're able to pull together? And that's all good communication's doing. It's helping people pull together, remember their why, remember what they're focused on, remember how to relate well with one another. It takes a lot of work, but as that's happening, there's that healthy rotation of thought leadership, a healthy rotation of function. That healthy rotation is keeping everyone connected and motivated to keep flying through those elements. The last lesson that I picked up from geese, which is so amazing, instinctively, geese will never leave the wounded behind. They will actually have one or two other geese fall back, go to them, and help that hurting geese for a time until they can either rejoin or until they have seen them land on the ground. So I just think that speaks volumes about alignment, because alignment is not just you're either on the train or you're getting run over by it. Alignment really does care about how people are taking care of one another, how leaders are taking care of one another. And I think that we need to take note of that as well. Hey, if you enjoy this leadership notes series where we're taking note of different lessons from all different places, let me know. You can subscribe, comment, like, share. That really helps this podcast. And also, if this leadership conversation matters to you, go to peterburchfield.com to find more free trainings for you and your team. Then you'll also see how you can join my community, which is dedicated to ministry and business leaders who want to make uncharted progress in every direction of their life. Thanks for watching. Remember, the future has so many fields waiting on you, so prepare to go there.